individualists within Auntie's choice. Though don't fret, the system is resilient. The system abides. But now,
Greetings. It is my esteemed pleasure to welcome you to Westport, once a shining testament to protectorate excellence, now a picturesque example of the evils of corporatism. But where are my manners? We do not have much, but please let me offer you some victuals. Tut. I insist. Serving Unit 1. Something for the visitor at once?
Confirmative.
Perhaps you're wondering why I'd open my arms thusly for a stranger. Simple. As the guiding light for humankind, we always put our best foot forward, regardless of circumstance.
Our enemies envy our prosperity, disdain our sense of community.
I beg to differ. Those walls have stood for over a century and would easily have stood for another, were it not for Auntie's greed and envy and explosives. Our society was built from the bedrock up through the vision of our matriarch. Due to her genius, the structure of our society is perfect, planned down to the last subject. We all work as a unified whole for the betterment of all, unlike those corporate colonies, where it's every person for themselves.
poor dears didn't have the firm, benevolent hand of the sovereign to guide them. Here on Eden, we all enjoy the full luxury.
Obviously, there was some sort of betrayal from within. Even a perfect society has its malcontents, and selfish consumerism is an alluring drug for weak minds. But consider all we've achieved that others have not. Why, we've even eradicated manual labor through our perfection of auto mechanicals. Can Aunties claim such?
Everything we need. Prudence dictates we take a moment to rightly appreciate it all.
I will not speak of
The sovereign.
them. I dislike even doing so indirectly. That brings me to a matter I'd like to discuss with you, actually. I believe something still can be done. This town can be saved, its people given a reprieve. Were we to acquire the one thing vital to our existence, automech parts. What?
Comestibles served.
We of the Protectorate pride ourselves on our mech programming. Among the vigilant, it is even considered something of a sport. We are not miracle workers, however. Without parts to work with, we've no hope of remaking our mechs to do tasks beyond their initial functions. We need repair mechs, domestic mechs, not combat ones. Serving Unit 1 here is about as much as can be accomplished without replacement parts.
Designed marvel where, if each of us does our part, produces glorious bounty for all. Naturally, sometimes
We are of like minds. We lack not the skill to do so. Our wily chief mechanist can reprogram the mech, but not without parts. Unfortunately, we lack ready availability of said parts.
or the base individualists within Auntie's choice.
Oh, you failed to hear the loudspeakers on the way in? The announcement we're obliged to repeat incessantly. Well, allow me to paraphrase. Protectorate law finds us guilty of treason on account of letting Westport fall prey to Auntie's choice saboteurs.
With pride, keep informing on your neighbor.
These fine and decent folk don't deserve having their lives thrown away on account of my failures. If I can return the settlement to a reasonable facsimile of its previous glory, sufficiently functioning by employing mechs reprogrammed to repair and rebuild, the arbiters might see fit to penalize only me, commute the others' sentences, allow them to maintain things around here in the spirit of continuity and such.
Post-haste. It's not just a good idea.
Hence my use of the term reasonable facsimile. I owe it to every single person here to try.
That you have entered a recreant locality. Record states as follows. All inhabitants
That's abundantly kind of you, though there must be something I can offer.
against seizure, sabotage, and or manipulative indoctrinatory falsity.
Enough to lead and inspire those who work there, once at least. I was previously the ranking vigilant on this island. Why do you ask?
Our sense of community. They sneer at our contentment.
I don't know what an Earth Directorate is, and I'd thought we were past the need for being coy, but fine. I'll extend you my trust as a show of good faith. In exchange for the automech parts we need, I can provide you means to get inside. Never dream of such a proposal in days of reason and quietude. Yet such is the here and now we find ourselves in.
Individualism ran rampant.
Wonderful. My unavoidable march to the gallows feels lighter already. At least now my subjects will have a fleeting chance. The parts can be found at the Euphoria Coast Automech Repair Center to the south. But do not, under any circumstances, tell those stationed there why you need them. To get inside, you will need an access pass from the Ministry of Accuracy. Since we have all been marked as traitors, I cannot create one for you here.
We sleep well at night. Work isn't strenuous.
Farewell now.
Food is nutritious and plentiful.
Seems nowhere on Paradise Island. I'll take fighting raps over living in a surveillance state any day of the week.
Broadcasting reassuring programming in line with the paradigm. This is
ain't as tough as you thought. Hey you! Get over here before you get yourself killed.
No, you ain't got what I need. And you can't come stumbling around here looking like prey. These raps ain't had a bite to eat since their pods dropped from the look of it. And a desperate rapt is a dangerous rapt. If the occasion calls for it, but I fancy myself something of a biologist. Or, at least I used to. Me and raptidons, we're well acquainted. I know their patterns, behaviors, attacks. Know what gives them an edge around folk who ain't in possession of that knowledge. Which is why I gotta ask, what are you doing here? You're in the middle of a war zone, friend. Anyone who ain't asking questions is instead asking for a bullet in the back. I'm Inez Silung, Auntie's choice, former combat medic in the Enhanced Soldier Division. Now, menial troubleshooter. Minister Milverstreet of Fairfield sent me here to retrieve some information. Not my most exciting assignment, but suppose we can't expect much with the stalemate on this island. I'll admit I was eager for some good hunting around here. My graft, needs some bolstering. But if the raps here are as weak as this one, it won't help me none. When there's paperwork, there's enemy secrets. And dropping raptidons on the place is a quick way to stop any personnel keen on destroying those secrets before we find them. It's a kinder fate than if they survived. Allowing us to walk off with this intel would surely land any survivor in front of the firing squad. Or sentimental refreshment. This place is an archive of Protectorate censorship. If it's been sanitized, censored, or rewritten out of the Protectorate's history, the Ministry's where you'll find it. And apparently there's some highly sensitive intel about mental refreshment hereabouts. The Minister sent me here to find it. If you had, you'd know. Unless you're accustomed to seeing folk roaming around with exposed muscle fibers or stunted extra limbs on their backs. Other than punch a hole in my armor, cause Huel at the saloon to yell in consternation, not much, at present. I'm considered a liability. My graph's all wrong. Most everyone else who got one passed or became permanently incapacitated. So they shuttered the program. It was a total failure. Everyone in Fairfield reckons my time will come soon too. But I'm still mostly upright. For now. I just know I can do more for Auntie and for the war. It's just this damn contract. Unless I can amend it so I might fix my graft, proving myself ain't happening anytime soon. Weren't many of us grafted soldiers to begin with. To think I'm one of the lucky ones. No. Enhanced Soldier Division was the fancy public-facing name for the grafting program. And when I say it was shuttered, I mean completely fucking demolished. Bet they'd erase it from the financial records if they could. It was that much of an embarrassment. In the wake of such a failure, it's left us grafted folks with no support. I only been able to treat my own ailments thanks to Doc Tinsley in Fairfield. She worked for the program for a time. She's a good one. She's bound by contract to work on whatever task Fairfield's illustrious leader set her to, nothing else. But she also ain't quite got the hang of the employment thing. You looked at the fine print of an employment contract lately? It says any action taken by a worker that could result in impeded work must be approved by the contract holder. Not only would trying to fix my graft impede my work, but it's also financially unviable, unproven, a risky investment. So I'm stuck with a limb that's slowly poisoning me. Could pursue fixing it myself were I out of my contract, but if I attempted to end it, I'd have to waive all employment rights for the next year. That's a non-starter. Let me put it this way. If I was already on the bottom rung, This knocks me clean off and buries me in sand. But I started from nothing before. I could do it again. Maybe. Ain't easy moving between companies, and I wasn't always with Auntie's Choice. But that's a story for another time. Get the feeling you will. Go on now. There's probably plenty of Protectorate info waiting to be scooped up if you're keen. Just mind the wraps. I got what I came for, so I reckon it's time to see about my contract. Law knows I could use a lucky break.
Just me, or did Inez remind you of Helen? Tough like her. Shame she's with Auntie's Choice. Seeing Zeb again went different than I expected. Not that I had high hopes for tears and confetti, but damn. Yes and no. There's a shadow over him wasn't there before. A meanness. It's difficult to describe. Even tougher to be on the receiving end. Maybe I ought to apologize straight away. But I'm not convinced I did the wrong thing, leaving. Had I stayed, who knows? Likely I'd have gotten us both killed. That's fair. Might have left him a note or something. I was just worried I'd lose my nerve, but you have a point. Wasn't right of me to just up and split. Anyway, I appreciate the check-in, Commander. Was there anything else you needed?
Sequencing attack strategies. Please emergency protocol surveillance prime.
Ready to take the heat off you, Commander. Just say when.
engaging hostile rifle. Enthusiastically neutralizing.
You lot couldn't hit the broadside of a freighter.
Confronting threat. The command inbound. Crafted up.
Who goes there? By orders of Marshal Donaldson, no one comes or goes to the Automech Repair Center without approval. What's your business here?
Now you've done it. Slowing down a ranking Protectorate official is worth 10, 20 demerits if you're lucky.
All right, let's not lose our heads over a simple misunderstanding. You're free to pass. Marshal Donaldson likes to greet new arrivals personally. We'll let him know you're inbound, so no one shoots on sight. Oh, and fair warning, watch out for xeranium gas. We sprung a leak. Nothing too bad. Aside from the headaches, nightmares, missing teeth, and headaches. One more thing. Don't cause any trouble around these parts. Donaldson runs a tight ship and has zero tolerance for lawbreakers.
All that matters is getting these Automechs to the Vox relay station.
But Marshal, we must adhere to decontamination procedures.
Greetings, potential customer. State your business. This unit was engineered to facilitate management of supply inventory at this installation.
Oh, this is surely exciting. Someone is finally trying out my automechanical quartermaster. Show them what you got, Quartermech.
Command not understood.
Huh. I thought that would have put it into sales mode. Best look into that later. Please, give it a try yourself.
All wares should be perfectly visible already.
Sorry, it tends to take things too literally. Maybe try phrasing the request differently.
Lull detected. Conversational status uncomfortable.
Does that one compute, big guy?
Affirmative. Initiating commerce is one of this unit's default commands. Initiating commerce.
Oh, unfamiliar clientele. I was just lamenting the lack of new faces around here since supplies stopped arriving. And then you walk in. Name's Hazel. I'm sort of the acting quartermaster around these parts. You need any supplies? Talk to my friend the quartermech here. You'd think that a fully stocked auto-mechanical repair center would have automech parts, and 9 times out of 10 you'd be spot on. Trouble is, a bunch of supplies went missing recently, right around the time the quartermech completed a routine inventory. As a matter of fact, yes. Recently, when the crates by the wall got too high, it began stacking supplies on the catwalk above.
Protectorate automechanicals feature advanced construction but low adaptability. Fall-throughs in its logic assembly would likely lead it to interpret its programming literally.
Logic can be a funny thing, you understand. One misstep can have the most peculiar results. Delphinia's lab would be the place to search. We use it for storage, and our records indicate the supplies were present and accounted for.
Standard Earth Directorate protocol calls for a thorough grid search of the premises, Commander. Those parts are bound to turn up somewhere.
Are you acquainted with Delphinia? She's a scientist on loan from the Vox Relay, helping with the Zeranium leak and all. Delphinia is not very nice. Or maybe she just doesn't like me personally. Anyway, she's very talented, and I'm glad she's helping out. And I'm never going within 10 feet of her again. Best of luck in your search. Let me know if I can be of assistance. See you soon, I hope.
Oh yes, I adore interruptions. I was just saying, what's best for stoking the spark of invention? Regular disruptions to one's train of thought. Now, what is it you want? Quite busy, as I said, and less pleased for this unscheduled work suspension. Now, did you have some business here? Now that you mention it, there was one particularly insistent little mech who kept trying to put all manner of bric-a-brac in here. After several firm remonstrations, I told it the interior of this building is off-limits while I am working here. Didn't see that peculiar little scamp again after that. Oh, we'll get to that presently. Now tell me, are you familiar with Zeranium gas? One and the same. That building took the brunt of the damage during a recent attack, and now it's spewing valuable Zeranium all over the place. I could speak at length about Zeranium's many captivating intrinsic qualities, but suffice it to say, in its gaseous state, it's rather deadly. So what am I endeavoring to create? A protective device that shields its wearer from Zeranium's remarkably unsavory effects, as well as other forms of harm. Quite splendidly, if I do say so myself. The principal function of the device is confirmed operational. I merely need to work out some minor implementation concerns. Alas, while I'm occupied with inventing this shield gadget, I also find myself in need of assistance regarding its key components. Good, good. Wonderful. As an added incentive, I'll allow you to keep one of the prototypes once the work is finished, so you be sure to give it your all. Now here, you'll need this apparatus. It's for collecting stray Zeranium effluvium. Gas, that is. My supply is running low from all the iterative testing I've been performing. Merely activate the device once it's inside a Zeranium cloud, the one around the main hangar specifically. Try to avoid any fields of dense Zeranium, or death is all but assured. Any questions? Normally, yes, but on the off chance that environmental exposure has altered the gas here in any way, I'll want to work with local samples. Ideally, the resulting shielding will protect against any gas, but since it's of utmost importance that it work on the gas here, I'll be calibrating against that. Oh, so exhilarating to have a new subordinate. I look forward to thoroughly scrutinizing your work. Now, shoo-shoo! Off with you now! Gather those samples! Shoo!
The matriarch chose Eden because she recognized it as the perfect atmosphere.
Outsider?
Rich
Ah, the itinerant stranger returns.
complex ecological network.
That is most excellent. Please, hand them over. Sincerest thanks. Now, we had what you outsiders call a deal. I promised you a means past the bridge and a way inside the Vox relay. There is wreckage from a crashed ship traversing most of the expanse. With the right equipment, the path will lead you directly to the Vox relay's main gate. Tell me, do you already have Protectorate jump boots in your possession? That's what I knew them as. The official title is Personal Plasma Thrusters, I suppose.
Individualists within Auntie's choice.
Wouldn't know much about that, but you'll find they serve a practical purpose here. With them equipped, you'll traverse that path with relative ease. I'll prepare a writ of conscription to allow you entry to the Vox relay. While most would refuse my authorization, the sentry assigned to the gate once lived in Westport. Sentry's second-class layman. Show the writ as proof I have conscripted you into my employ. Use it to press service on my behalf, and she will let you in. Once you're inside, there's something else I need you to do. Something that would save many lives.
Gray gone astray? Book a stay today. Are you?
The Vox relay is, to my mind, a time bomb. Brigadier Montelli's lost his way. Now all manner of chaos is raging there. I've heard tell he's even resorted to extra-legal executions. Madness, I tell you. A brigadier doesn't act as judge, jury, and executioner. That's an arbiter's job. And even then, they're enforcing existing protectorate law. Why, isn't it obvious? As Vigilant, I was his commander, and without my guidance, he was lost. All manner of chaos seems to be the order of the day at the station. Executions done in the service of order are an unfortunate necessity. Done at the whim of an individual, well, that's just one more depravity Antes has wrought upon us.
And the Sovereign embodies and executes on it. Throughout history, human society...
A true subject of the Protectorate lives and dies by their ideals. There is another who I am sure feels the same way. Marshal Corbin. As with all my subjects, I have been there when he needed me. I trust we can call on him now to do his part. Seek him out at the Vox relay, conscript him with the writ, and this is important. You must convince him to kill Montelli. Corbin will want to talk him down, to take him into custody, to message superiors outside the facility beforehand. We cannot allow any of that to happen. If Corbin becomes the highest-ranking officer alive, no one will be able to contradict his accounting of events. The Protectorate execute connivers and schemers. Corbin must appear forced to take down Montelli in the moment. It cannot feel like a plotted coup. Good, good. Here is the writ. I may not survive to see what occurs, but I trust you to follow your conscience. Farewell now. Promise you'll return here if you can, to check in on my people and see how they fare. Oh, I don't doubt your abilities, but the prospects remain exceedingly poor. The facility is exceptionally well guarded, and forces there are the pinnacle of Protectorate training. Even if you succeed, it's only a matter of time before the Arbiter arrives to administer my sentence. Any chances of me avoiding my fate are quite slim, I fear. Farewell now.
The matriarch, working with and through the sovereign, devised the paradigm, a meticulously